Welcome to Subramani. Normally, when an older person comes to you and says, "Here is my portfolio. Can you please tell me whether what I have done is right?" Uh, I avoid this because I don't do this as a profession. This is something which I would rather ask somebody else who is younger, who is doing it day in and day out to check it out. But I do occasionally do it. So this person is a known person. He's about 75 years of age. He had about 70 lakhs of rupees, largely in savings and bonds, and he has had about 15 lakhs invested through a bank in the mutual fund in a dividend option scheme. And that is it. He had about 70 lakhs and his age was 76. So he asked me whether this is sufficient. Now this is a question which I have struggled a lot. This guy was a little unique that he had retired premature from the army and he was not entitled to a pension. The best thing about an army job is of course the pension, which is indexed and it would pay enough for a man to live with his wife. Even in a city like Mumbai, he didn't have too great a lifestyle. But he had one son who had some mental problems, who had come back and he was staying with him. And he had an unbelievably high electricity bill. I was quite surprised that he was running an electricity bill of 10,000 rupees a month. And when I asked him, he said, "No, my house, all lights are on throughout the day and long parts of the night. The front room light is kept on during the night." I have no clue. I did not get too much into asking him why he did that. But yes, he was one of those typical characters whom, if I had looked at the 70 lakhs, I would have said, I would have quoted Bill Bernstein and said, "Well, when you have enough, if you have won the game, just get out." However, 70 lakhs to me was not sufficient for a 76-year-old with a dependent son and running a 10,000 rupee per month electricity bill. He had a dog, he had 2 cars, and I've no reason to believe that he needed 2 cars at this age, considering that he would not go out anywhere and he was self-driving. He thought he could not afford a driver. His annual expenses were in the region of about 8 lakhs, about 8 to 9 lakhs a year. Now, if you are if you need 9 lakhs a year, which means somewhere you have to dip into your capital, because the capital that you have is only 70 lakhs. But he was living in a house which would have fetched him approximately 3 crores. Now, this is again a very funny situation where he knew that his house was worth 3 crores, but he was not willing to sell, and he thought he didn't need it because 70 lakhs was adequate. To me, 70 lakhs is adequate or not adequate, I have no clue, but I know that he will need a lot of support staff to look after his money, to look after his health, to look after his eating food, cooking, because his wife was not well and she was only 72, but she could not cook for whatever reason. So which meant his household expenses was high because of the salaries. He had a part-time driver. He had a man Friday who would come water the garden, or he had small plants, walk the dog, right, all those things. And yes, he was spending much more than what he could afford. And his son had got into a bad marriage and he was abused or whatever, so he was finished and he was not earning a rupee. So father and son both not having any earned income or earning income, and a mother who was anyway a housewife and she was not well. Into this, how do you say whether 70 lakhs is sufficient? Typically, he was a guy who thought 70 lakhs was sufficient, so he didn't bother too much, but he had some money, 15 lakhs, thanks to a banker, put into a fund which had a lot of equity. But I don't think he realized that the changes in the act meant the dividend may be skipped in some time, and then he'll start worrying what is happening. He also had no clue that some of his dividends could be coming from his own capital. He just didn't know that something like that could be happening. and he had no clue what were safe assets during inflation times. We have got used to having a very benign low inflation, so we think, oh, this rate is good. But if inflation were to go up, then all these small saving schemes would just not keep pace, right? Spending pattern, he had no clue how spending pattern could change. He had retired at 55 and now he was 75. He assumed the next 20 years spending pattern would be the same as the past 20 years. Then I had said, no, things could change. If he is admitted to hospital for a corona, he could spend about 10 lakhs. That's it. A big portion of his savings would have been wiped out, right? So, and in older age, more care could be required. He might have to shift to some other place where care is given professionally and done regularly. So he had no clue what those expenses could be, and nothing obviously of all this has been provided. The fact that when you have a portfolio which you are managing it on a direct basis, that you start thinking that that is the best you can do, that is not true. Go and hire an RIA and ask him to give you a fair view or opinion on your portfolio along with your goals. That is something which you should do. Getting a second opinion is very important, because you could get carried away in the market, or either on the upside or on the downside. So if you want to avoid all that, you're better off taking a second opinion, and based on that you act. Thank you.